Guys, I'm really excited because we have Jeff Schine with us today. Incredibly talented face actor and voice actor. At cons, they ask me, "Do you also do face acting?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's just acting." Jeff does on camera, guys, and a bunch of amazing voices, particularly on the Avengers. He plays Captain America, Javier Garcia in The Walking Dead, and Carlos Olivera in Resident Evil 3. Welcome, dude.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. It's nice to finally meet you.
So tell me a little bit about what you do. You do some really iconic video game characters, which is incredible. You also do film and TV. What was the beginning of Jeff, like discovering, oh, this is what I really want to do, and then like you taking that step to starting to achieve it, because it's a long road.
Yeah, it's cool looking at it now at where I'm at. I mean, so I guess I never really, I guess I didn't really entertain the idea of being an actor for quite some time. I didn't grow up not that I wasn't encouraged to explore whatever I wanted, and my parents were very supportive. I genuinely felt like I came into my own much later in life. I mean, yeah. I wasn't particularly athletic when I was younger. I didn't find like athleticism until really like college. It just, and my career, I feel like has sort of paralleled that, where I've had, and look, everyone's story is unique, even though it seems like we all have a similar story, it's so different. But mine has been a very slow grind where each little job led to the next job, and small steps. But I mean, just to the beginning, it just didn't dawn on me that you could do this for a living. I used to watch like TV and film, and I was passionately obsessed with it, but they always seemed like other people, like someone else did that. I don't know who or where they came from, but they might as well have been from an alien planet. But that wasn't like what I could do. I remember writing down stuff for like, those little things you fill out when you're like 5 years old, like what do you want to be when you grow up? I was writing stuff that I think about now. I'm like, architect, physical therapist. Like, did I ever really want to do that? And it didn't dawn on me till about midway through high school that was a thing that I could do. And it made sense on all the other things I was so passionate about that it would line up that way.
So did you do some high school theater or some community theater?
I did a lot of plays in like middle school and elementary school. And then when I got to high school, I got really like, I don't know, like it didn't feel like it was for me, like my high school theater. And by the time I got to senior year, I started finding community theater outside of my high school. But at the time I had a tremendous, I would say debilitating, like stage fright. And I would say, secretly still to this day, the idea of being on stage, it's funny because in front of the camera, I'm fine. But the idea of being on stage is like, there's a little agita when I think about that.
Because you have a live audience, it's a totally different, that happens.
Like the most exhilarating and terrifying. It is genuinely like being on, you step out on stage and it's like being on a roller coaster you have no control over, because it can go really well. So I will tell you, the first time I went on stage was this community theater play. It's the first time that I was aware of being on stage outside of like middle school, where you don't have as much self-awareness.
Yeah.
The first time I was taking acting seriously. I had done work, and I went up in the middle of a scene and skipped a page and a half.
Oh, balls.
Nobody knew, but I mean, my scene partner, he gave me one of these looks like in midway through, like, did you just skip a page and a half of dialogue?
But then you jump to that next line, because what the hell are you going to do?
You just go. That's the thing. You just go and figure out a way to make it work. But
that's kind of the magic of it too. Think on your feet. We got to fix this moment. What do we do?
It's totally the magic of it.
Where were you born and raised?
Oh yeah, I was born in Connecticut, in a Bridgeport hospital, but and then I grew up in a small town called Oxford. We moved to Southbury, which is a neighboring town, and just because it had access to a high school. Okay.
And then you moved, when you were done high school, where did you move to pursue this dream of yours?
So right after high school, I took a year off. And no, I'm sorry, that's not true. From high school right to college at Hofstra University. Graduated Hofstra in 3.5 years, came back, took a year off, just bartended, and then moved straight out to Los Angeles.
Just bartended,
16 years.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. And so then, so you move out to well, you bust your ass, you bartend. We all wait at tables. It's the thing. You got to do it, right? And then you come out to LA and like, what's the first big thing that you book that you're like, because it takes a while, you kind of do the one-liners and you don't book them and then you maybe do and da 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 da, or then you get cut from whatever you shot. Like, what was the first thing that you were like, okay, this is a good deal?
I think the first like legit job I booked was actually a video game, and I believe it was a jump from I was hosting this show which was tagged on to Call of Duty Black Ops, and it was on disc, but it was called Roll Call.
Okay.
Basically, I was like interviewing some of the developers, and we went to like E3 and like all this kind of stuff, and then from that audition I ended up being the reader for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And after a week long of reading with all the other actors and like just being the reader, the director and producer were like, hey, why don't you audition? And then I auditioned and booked a job. That role was like, I loved the name of the character. I was like, and games take like years to make.
Yeah.
Before we got actually rolling was about a 6-month wait period, and over the course of that 6 months that character got cut. But they were kind enough to be like, hey, but we're going to give you some other stuff so you can still. But this is how it goes. I mean, you just,
Yeah.
So you got to be on the ride.
And you have a pretty impressive video game resume. Like, you've worked on a ton of them.
Yeah, at this point, I've been on a few.
Yeah. I'm looking at your IMDb as we speak. Guys, go to his IMDb right now. I tell people to go to your Insta and your IMDb, so it's all good. Like, guys, Disintegration, Marvel Avengers, Mafia, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Resident Evil, Final Fantasy. They're all huge names. Kingdom Hearts, Judgment, like Just Cause 4, I'm in that too. Fallout 76. Red Dead 2, I'm in that too. Everyone's in Red Dead 2. They employed like 2,000 actors. And that's not even half of the ones that I just read out. Like, holy cow, dude.
Yeah.
So when did voice acting start becoming a part of your life? Because we aren't told that this is a part of our career, really. We don't really understand that we can maybe just be voice actors if we wanted to.
I would actually jump on that and say, not only are we not told that it's an avenue, but we're told if you consider it as an avenue, that you should consider abandoning all your other work because I was told in the beginning by some people, you can't do both at the same time. And I remember thinking which was probably out of character for me at the time, considering where I was at, my confidence level, but I was like, that doesn't sound right. Like, why not? Why can't I do both? So I happen to have, So I have a long history with video games. I've been a huge nerd and gamer since I was very, very young.
Nice. Let's talk about the big titles you've got for video games. And I do want to hear more about your on-camera fun stuff as well. But what was the in chronological order, which one came first? I know Walking Dead. Are you part Hispanic? You play some Latino characters.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
Just curious.
My wife has the market cornered on that part of our relationship.
Got it. She's Hispanic?
She's Puerto Rican, Peruvian, Native American.
Amazing. How
cool.
She's
doing amazing things.
So which was the one that came first that you're like, holy cow, I'm Captain America, or whatever?
Yeah, the first one was The Walking Dead. And interestingly, with all of the titles that I have that are sort of some of the larger franchisey stuff, I was very fortunate because I didn't know what they were. As far as everything's code named. You're under, and at some point when you've been doing it long enough, you kind of stop asking. It's like whatever.
Yep, you don't care. Yeah, you just
kind of stop caring, and it's actually good because you realize not only do you not care, but it also doesn't matter because the scene is the scene, the character is the character. Sometimes, yes, you want to know the universe so you can play in the right world, but anyway. So I go in for what I don't know at the time is The Walking Dead. And I'm reading with a number of different actors, which I really must have been out to lunch that day because I think we were actually having a session. I thought it was like an audition, but I think we were recording an episode because I was recording with Melissa Hutchinson, who plays, why am I blanking right now? Clem in the whole franchise.
Yeah.
And that was, I think we were 4 or 5 sessions in when I realized oh, this is The Walking Dead and people really like this franchise. This is kind of a big deal. Yeah. And then they were and I was like, but it's okay because this is Clem's story. And they were like, no, this season we're kind of following you. And I was like, oh, cool. So I have to hope everybody likes me after we kind of dovetailed Clem's story a little bit.
Yeah. What does he sound like in the game? I'm sorry, I don't play. People are commenting like, "Oh my god, his voice is so recognizable," but I don't play these games. So
I mean, for Javi, I mean, I was a little bit younger, but it was basically just lived here. It was kind of just my regular voice.
wait, let's get back to Captain America. So
Yeah.
when you booked, like, what a freaking big deal! Because not only is he gorgeous, Chris, one of those guys, Evans, Pine, Hemsworth, they're all the same. Not really.
Oh, absolutely handsome.
Yeah, holy cow. What did you like? You auditioned and you're like, not gonna book it, or ooh, this could be like what was going through your head, and then you book it, and then you go, oh my god.
Well, I was confident in what I was doing, but I didn't know it was Captain America. I mean, I've
Oh, cool.
at this point, like, you know, I've said before, my wife called it. She was self-taping me, and I had put on like, I don't get too caught up in clothes when I'm auditioning, but I like, based on what I was reading, I was like, yeah, it kind of feels like a white t-shirt, kind of leathery jacket kind of vibe. And, you know, and we started doing the scene. She's like, this reminds me of, and she's not like a comic book person. She's like, who's that guy in the I'm like, Captain America? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't think so. That's fucking nuts. And so, you know, did the self-tape, then went in with casting, then did with the director a session, and got a call from my agent, and she was like, hey, and still at this point not knowing what it is, she's like, hey, something might be coming down the pike. I'm telling you, you're available if it happens. And I was like, okay, fair enough.
Is this mocap though? Because it was a self-tape?
Say it again?
Was this mocap because it was a self-tape?
This was mocap, PCAP, everything.
Oh gosh, okay, I thought it was just animated. Wow.
Oh, no. This was, motion capture, performance capture.
Holy cow, okay.
Yeah, so then I got the call, and it was Cap. And, you know, I think you go through it, there's like a number of emotions at the time. And the first one I think was definitely, I mean, first of all, I was beside myself. I was so happy. I'm like, this is nuts. Yeah. Then it was like, and this is just my way in general, I was like, check yourself for a second. You don't know what the size of the project is. This could be one line and like a thing, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Don't get ahead of yourself. It might not be that big a deal. And then I remember driving in the car, you know, 15 minutes after the call, I'm looking at my wife and going, if it's kind of the game I hope it's going to be, wouldn't it be cool if these people were in it? And I shit you not, I named just about everybody that cast, because I was just thinking, like, who are some people that I'd like to work with? In the infinite amount of people in VO that I would be honored to fucking work with, I was like, here are some cool names. And then sure enough, my agent emailed me the cast list about 20 minutes later. And then I was like, oh, this is probably a bigger project than I thought.
Last one we haven't really talked about is Carlos Olivera. So when did you book Resident Evil 3, and what was that experience?
Resident Evil was pre-Cap. In fact, I think I found out about Cap before I left for Japan to do Resident Evil. And
you went to Japan?
Yeah. That was dope. It was really cool for like a number of different reasons, but you know, I've always really been interested in, I've always wanted to go to Japan. I've always been very interested in Japanese culture, and there's no better reason to go somewhere than to go for work.
Yeah.
So, you know, we went out there and shot. We did two separate shoots, each about 2 weeks in length. But it was a lot of fun. It was really cool because, you know, we were there with a French director, an English or an American cast, and an entire production team of Japanese folk. Okay, we were in Tokyo, and I got to do. We went to Roppongi a little bit. We were like, our schedule was very tight, so we didn't get to do a lot of sightseeing. Yeah. But there's a beautiful countryside. Like, I mean, the cities are also obviously very cool. But, you know, I really wanted to get like out, but we just didn't have the time. So it's something. Back.
Closing remarks. What are you excited to have people to see coming up soon, or that one TV show that you just love, that character that you play? Like,
there's a couple things coming out. I mean, you know, it's always so hard to promote yourself because, I mean, well, like, A, it's an uncomfortable space for me anyway, and then B, most of the stuff I work on, like, I'm not allowed to talk about even close.
Right.
I'll tell you, like, there will be something coming out that I get to participate in on Netflix soon. And then a couple games are pretty close to coming out. So there's some stuff.
Soon.
Yeah, soon. Just cool. Keep it. I mean, look, I'm not great at social media, but like I'll give everyone a heads up.
I was gonna say, like, guys, give Jeff a follow. Last question. Wait, have you played Overwatch?
A lot.
Oh, shut the front door! Why didn't you tell me, dude? Who's your
No,
main?
huh?
Who's your main?
Bangalore. Sorry, but actually, it's so funny because I remember playing that game.
Wait, who's Bangalore? Are you talking about the map?
No, Bangalore is isn't that the character's name?
No. An Indian character?
No. Wait.
Apex.
Apex. I did play Overwatch, and my main in Overwatch was not the monkey.
Not Winston.
No, not Winston.
Reinhardt.
No, I wasn't a Reinhardt guy. He's the big knight.
Yeah.
No, I was not a Reinhardt guy. I mained who was like the soldier, the super
Soldier 76.
Soldier 76.
Yeah.
He was my main. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
A pleasure. Like super fun.
Lovely. Congrats on your incredible career, your wife, your baby. Big fans of it all. And hopefully we'll cross paths soon. Guys, give it up for Jeff.
Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it.
Guys, keep booming and booping. Boop.